Well, Jesus had compassion for the many, the crowds. We're talking about our prayer life this week. We're thinking about it, and we're including in that prayer life everything we do with God, for God, with one another, for God. It's our whole relationship with God and really with one another as well that's included in that. So Jesus, we see in the Gospels, has compassion for the crowds. He says they're like sheep without a shepherd. And so he fed them thousands. He healed hundreds and hundreds, knowing that they were only going to just want more of the same. They really weren't going to say, okay, what does this mean? The fact that this man is from God. What they did was they said, let's make him the king. Okay. Because he can do welfare by feeding us, and he can do healthcare by healing us. And Jesus' response was he just booked. He upped and left. He went to pray. Lord, and what he was praying about was the ones that would come out of the end of that. The end of that story in John 6 is that he's standing there after having shared with thousands of people and given them what they wanted. There were 12 left, and those were his 12. And he said, well, you're going to leave me too? And they said, how could we leave you? You're the Messiah. And so that really was the winnowing out process. Jesus provided for the whole world. He provided salvation to be saved for the whole world, that we could be saved. And the way he did it is not by fancy marketing. In fact, he broke all the marketing rules in his approach. He simply focused on his serious followers. The people that just had to know. The guys were just so annoying. They would just stick with you. They would come. It's getting dark. Everyone's gone home. But they got to know, what did you mean by that parable? And how did this happen? Why does this mean? They're the ones. And he focused on them. Gospel says he prayed hard to know about which guys to choose for his inner 12. And he chose the 12 after praying all night for them. He even chose his betrayer, knowing that he was his betrayer. And then at the end, at the Last Supper, John chapter 17, he prays very hard, very specifically for his followers, but specifically for his 12 that were going to change the world. He says to God, they are in the world, but Lord, they are not of the world. You've known them since forever, and they're yours. And then he prayed for us. He says, I'm praying for those who believe without seeing and hearing. So he knew what a difficulty this was going to be, not having laid our physical eyes on him. And then later that same night, he prayed about whether to go through with all of this and go to the cross. While he's in the garden at Gethsemane, the olive press place, he decides not to escape. He knows that his position has been compromised. He's not going to be able to hide anywhere with his disciples from anymore with the people that are looking for him. And he just stays, and he knows what's coming. And he prayed, God, not my will, but yours be done. And he made his decision there, and he went through with all of it. And so he asked that we pray together, and that we pray for very specific things, even though we feel great compassion for the world and do all we can for the world, the whole world. We've got this communication process. We can hear everything that's going on all around the planet. But he wants us to pray about acting on what's in front of each one of us, to commit to the life he has given me, and you commit to the life he has given you. The world screams, save everything, save everyone. And that is Satan's distraction. Even though the need is real, the screaming need to go out and save everything and everybody, everything plus everybody equals nothing and no one. If you focus on everything, you end up doing nothing. So Jesus says, let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. You pray about your family, about your friends, about your church, about your town, your community, whatever's in front of you, you work on that and watch how God saves the world. He uses us but He uses us in the way that He's designed us to be used. So keep praying together. When we say Our Father, it's all of us. Pray together this week. We'll see you this Sunday. I can't wait to meet together with you, 10:30 Sunday morning at Woodstock Evangelical Covenant Church, as we gather together online and in person. And God blesses us in a special way. See you there.